Hi, I'm Alan Adler, president of Alan Adler and Associates. I was born in Detroit, the family of 5 with 2 younger sisters. I was always a car nut. In fact, I even dreamed that someday I'd even be making car commercials. I went to Wayne State University for both my undergraduate and graduate work, and in fact, in my senior year of college, I worked at a large advertising agency whose client was one of the largest of the big 3 automakers at the time. Early on in my career, I worked at an AM and FM stereo radio station delivering news, weather, and sports. From there, I was an assistant director and a director at a local television station, and even worked in the early days of syndicated cable television. I spent 10 years living out my dream, actually producing national car commercials for Ford and Lincoln Mercury. Toward the end of my career with AT&T, I saw an opportunity to start my own business and actually co-founded a company in New Jersey called Touchtone Access. We were an outsource for Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies to manage and advise them on their customer service issues. The company was built up over 10 years to a point where we had almost 90 employees and we're experiencing a revenue stream of $5 million annually. Having the experience of starting and building my own company, I decided to execute an exit strategy I had toward the latter 1990s, moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I've been a consultant and coach with my corporation and a host of strategic partners for more than the last 14 years. Alan Adler Associates is a 14-year-old consulting and coaching business along with a host of strategic partnerships. And what we do is we provide decision makers of small to medium-sized businesses advice and assistance to forming their strategic direction. In today's marketplace, having a strategy before jumping into spending money on tactics is absolutely critical if you want to be one of those businesses that thrives in today's market environment. Wherever I travel today and speak to groups of people, I hone in on the fact that there's a lot of pain. People feel just horrible and blame all of their woes, or at least most of them, on the difficult economic environment that we're living in today. Certainly no one can deny that the recession, the largest one that I've ever experienced, has had a lot to do with that. However, there's a confluence of many other experiences that have happened in a concentrated amount of time that really make the change so that people have solutions if they want to use them. There isn't anything we can do about the recession and the economic situation we're in. There's so much we can do if we use what I call antibiotics for business. The first is being extraordinary. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary in today's market plays right into today's current market trends as well as future trends. The second antibiotic is having great leadership and having a defined culture. Great leadership includes things like authenticity and integrity and being resilient, things which we talk about frequently. The third antibiotic is having a strategy before tactics. So many businesses are throwing out money without being able to measure the effectiveness of the tactics they use. So I try to build with my clients a strategy that measures the effectiveness of the return on investment of the tactics they spend money on. And finally, there's the box. In today's environment, you have to be able to think outside the box. After all the rules have changed in the last several years. None of the None of the practices, policies, even the models that we've used to create our businesses, they don't work in today's environment. So you have to be able to think outside the box, or you can't be successful. For several years while doing our consulting, I was asked to write a column for business journals and an occasional article for some of the national trade publications. And through the interviewing process with really successful businesses, it started getting me thinking, what are they doing? How are they doing it during the most difficult of economic times that others aren't? So I decided to culminate all of my thoughts and writings into a single book called Getting the Fish to Swim to You and Keeping Them in Your Boat. It's literally a collection of 160 short stories of remarkable businesses that have found ways, using antibiotics for business as the example, to become incredibly successful. You know, it's a funny thing. We never base the measure of our success on how well we think we're doing for a client, but rather ask the client for their experiences based on the improvement of their performance and results. Our approach is pretty simple. It's the combination of our client's intuition with the rigor of evidence and respect for collaboration.